Tonight, we sound the alarm on one of the most volatile and dangerous volcanoes on Earth, Mount Etna, towering over Sicily, Italy. For centuries, Etna has both captivated scientists and terrified nearby residents with its relentless eruptions. But what's unfolding right now is something far more alarming. New satellite imagery and ground deformation data have confirmed it. Mount Etna is tearing itself apart. The volcano's southeastern flank, a colossal mass of rock weighing billions of tons, is slowly sliding toward the sea. And experts are warning that this could mark the beginning of a catastrophic chain reaction unlike anything witnessed in modern times. The silent collapse has begun. This isn't about the fiery lava fountains that paint the night sky. This is about something quieter, deeper, and far more dangerous. Beneath the surface, Etna's entire structure is becoming unstable. Ground-based sensors reveal that the volcano's southeastern flank is gradually detaching from the rest of the mountain. At first, the motion was almost imperceptible, mere millimeters per year. But over the last decade, the pace has quickened. Now, portions of the slope are shifting by several centimeters each month, an unmistakable signal that the mountain's foundation is weakening. This is no ordinary landslide. It's a volcanic flank collapse, one of the most destructive geological events known to science. And history shows that when a volcano collapses, it doesn't happen quietly. The results can be catastrophic: massive eruptions, deadly tsunamis, and regional-scale devastation, all unfolding within minutes. Even more concerning, scientists have identified that Etna has entered what they call a volcanic feedback loop, a self-reinforcing cycle that feeds its own instability. Here's how it works. When magma rises from deep underground, it forces its way into cracks within the mountain, heating and prying the rock apart. This rising magma increases pressure on the unstable flank, pushing it further downslope. But as the flank slides, it opens new fractures, allowing even more magma to intrude, making eruptions more likely and destabilizing the volcano even further. It's a vicious cycle, and it's happening now. Every centimeter the slope moves brings Etna one step closer to a potential disaster, an eruption that could be far more violent and unpredictable than anything in recent memory. Because this movement is directed toward the sea, scientists fear that a large-scale collapse could send an enormous volume of rock plunging into the Mediterranean, generating a tsunami capable of devastating coastal cities across the region, and the evidence keeps building. This isn't wild speculation. The data is consistent and clear. In 2018, a joint German-Italian research team deployed ocean floor sensors to track the movement of Etna's southeastern slope. What they found was alarming. The entire flank, from summit to seabed, is sliding toward the Ionian Sea. The motion isn't limited to the surface. It extends deep within the mountain's base. This confirms that both gravity and the relentless pressure of rising magma are working together to destabilize the volcano. Since then, earthquakes have begun clustering along that same flank. These aren't random tremors. They're stress fractures forming as the volcano literally pulls itself apart. Satellite radar now shows deformation patterns matching the early stages of a major flank eruption, the kind that doesn't just release lava from the summit, but rips open the side of the volcano itself. And that's precisely what happened during Etna's most devastating eruption in the year 1669. That spring, a series of deep thunderous rumbles shook the southern slopes. Without warning, the earth split open. Not at the summit, but far down along the mountain's side. Rivers of molten rock surged outward, consuming everything in their path. It was one of the most destructive eruptions in Etna's history, and it began the same way, with a silent, creeping shift deep within the volcano. The southeastern flank of Etna, just a few kilometers above the villages below, split open. From that gaping fissure, an ocean of molten rock poured forth, consuming everything in its path. For 4 relentless months, the eruption raged on. More than a dozen villages were wiped from the map. When the lava reached the city of Catania, it swallowed homes, churches, and roads beneath a searing river of fire. The flow was so immense that it smashed through the city's defensive walls and extended the coastline. by more than a kilometer. That eruption remains the deadliest in Etna's history. And what's most chilling is how eerily today's deformation patterns mirror those same early warning signs. Scientists fear the conditions that led to the 1669 catastrophe are returning, only this time on a much larger scale. But there's now an even greater danger. If Etna's southeastern flank were to collapse suddenly, even partially, billions of tons of rock could crash into the Ionian Sea. The impact would unleash a mega tsunami racing across the Mediterranean at hundreds of kilometers per hour. Simulations suggest waves up to 50 meters high could strike the coast of Sicily within minutes. Hours later, destructive surges could reach Greece, Malta, and the shores of North Africa. This isn't just Italy's problem. It's a Mediterranean crisis in waiting. And because the process is unfolding deep underwater and underground, there may be little or no warning before disaster strikes. Volcanologists are calling for urgent and expanded monitoring of the volcano's unstable flank, both on land and beneath the sea. Dr. Moretti, a leading researcher at Italy's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, recently warned Etna's southeastern flank is in motion. It's not a question of if it will collapse, but when. The concern is that even a small trigger, an earthquake, a deep magma pulse, or heavy rainfall could accelerate the process. Meanwhile, a team from Germany's Geomar Helmholtz Center has reported that the sliding motion is now entirely gravitational, no longer driven solely by magma pressure. In simple terms, the volcano is being pulled downhill by its own immense weight. It has begun to fail under its own mass. A race against time has begun. Authorities in Sicily are reviewing evacuation protocols for communities on Etna's lower slopes. But for now, most residents continue their daily lives, unaware that the ground beneath them is inching steadily toward the sea. It's a slow-motion disaster, one that could, at any moment, cross the line from geological curiosity to full-scale catastrophe. And history has shown that when Etna releases its pressure, it rarely gives much warning. Eruptions that once occurred every few years are now becoming more frequent, each one adding another layer of strain to the already fragile flank. If you're watching from Italy, Malta, or anywhere across the Mediterranean basin, stay alert to official updates from the Istituto Nazionale di Geofisica e Vulcanologia and local emergency agencies, because while the world watches Etna's spectacular summit eruptions, the real danger, the one capable of rewriting the map, is building quietly beneath the surface. Mount Etna is literally tearing itself apart. And when that flank finally gives way, it won't just be another eruption. It will be an event that reshapes the Mediterranean forever. This is Geology Watch, bringing you the facts, the data, and the urgent warnings the mainstream often overlooks. If this report helped you understand what's truly happening beneath Mount Etna, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll be tracking every seismic update, every deformation signal, and every eruption alert in real time. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep your eyes on the Earth, because our planet is alive, and it's trying to tell us something.